Lights, camera, action. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be a star in a movie? Are you one of those people who would like to see themselves in front of a camera and streamed in big screens as the whole world watches them with thrill? Some of you might think about this as you spend your time in this quarantine, binge watching your favorite movies or series on Netflix to the point that it was the only thing you had done after such a long, slow day. I've contacted some of my friends whom I believe are fond of watching films and asked them, "Why do you watch movies?" And there were some who came up with simple responses like, just to kill the time. I want to be entertained. Binge watching became my hobby. While some had deeper reasons. I just want to feel something because I felt numb about everything. I want to feel different emotions. Basically, it is their way to escape the real world and put themselves in the character of the movie, a way to hide their insecurities. Watching those movies made them feel that they're part of something important. And it's true. Watching movies helps us to create alternate realities, a different version of our lives. But what if the movie turns out to be your reality, your life? Well, for a rabid movie watcher, movie is life. But at the same time, life is a movie. The moment you were born is when the camera started rolling. We know that in a movie, you need a person with a role, a plot, and a purpose. Well, there are many more, but allow me to focus on these 3 Ps. Now, in this movie of life, you are the main character and you play a lot of different roles. You portray different characters depending on how you want to present yourself, an idea of who you are from various perspectives. And from this, you begin to question yourself. Who am I? However, the answer is dynamic. Having this sense of self is changing over time. As you grow, your roles change as you begin to include other characters in your movie. Well, aside from your family, of course. Living as an individual versus the inevitable society. You begin to involve yourself in the different social groups you have met in school, in church, in the community, anywhere. According to George Mead in his book, Mind, Self, and Society, in a game where a number of individuals are involved, the child taking one role must be ready to take the role of everyone else. He must know what everyone else is going to do in order to carry out his own play, and it is in this form where a society plays a role in an individual's role-taking. It was all fun and games until you step into the next scene, the coming of age, the transition stage where you begin to learn what's really happening on the set, in the stage of life. Before, you were doing things just for the sake of doing it, but at this phase, you do things because you have something to prove. And with this, you gain power, a responsibility to take charge for yourself and for the community. You are now the director of your own movie. And now, you begin to get confused as to who you really are. Am I the actor, or am I the one filming the action? Am I the writer, or do I just wait for someone to write my story? Am I the director, or am I merely a watcher? You begin to seek for your self-worth. And in this soul-searching, you begin to compose a plot. Your plot will be your plan. But here's the catch. Life does not always follow your plot. The movie Parasite said it best. If you make a plan, life never works out that way. As I've mentioned earlier, some of us watch movies to escape from reality because maybe, just maybe, our ideal plot is not what we're experiencing. At the same time, our ideal self is not identical to our true self. As the director, we expect our plot to play out well, but then again, these expectations lead us to disappointments. An online article by Derek Thompson from The Atlantic revealed that some people love to watch the same old movies over and over and over again because it feels like opening a time capsule, re-engaging in the past, revisiting an old memory. Thompson described it as the self's emotional regulation because you already know what's going to happen next and it cannot surprise you anymore. Oppositely, in real life, we don't exactly know what tomorrow has in store for us. The fear of the unknown that makes us feel anxious to the point where some of our friends drown in the same old source of sadness and depression. This is a common issue within the Filipino youth and is evident in the films we see today. As you might have observed, most independent films today contain darker and darker themes and unvoiced issues, some of which are concerned on finding one's identity, one's mental state due to social pressure, social limitations, and ending one's life. All of these reflect society's current situation, that we are not okay. I consider myself as a filmmaker, and I've been part of a small film production team named Pitik Bulag, and we made this film, which gained several awards locally. There was also a film that I've collaborated with other writers in UP Manila, and there were other films that I wrote before. Little did everybody know that through these films, I unleash bits of my story. Most of these films tell the hidden stories of my life and what I should have done in my life. Especially in Angulo. I used this film to at least release some of my suicidal thoughts accumulated from my dark past. No matter how messed up the film gets, hoping that I can edit my life in this way. However, life is ineditable. This was the purpose of my film, but what about you? What is the purpose of your film? Probably this is the time to stop asking yourself, who am I? Because to answer that, you can only use the experiences you gained from the past, because in life, as you move forward, you move like a rower, facing backwards, without a clear picture of the future. You know where you have been, but do you know where you're going? So, I'm going to change the question from who am I to who will I be. A quote from a Kung Fu Panda movie once said, "Your story may not have such a happy beginning, but it does not define who you are. It is the rest of your story." As the director, well, you can control it. Everything happens by choice. It's your choice as to whether you'll keep reliving the past or be the same old you because you're too afraid of what could happen if you take those risks. You're living your movie now, and it is your choice to be the movie you want to see. And in your movie, there are no cuts. You only got one shot. So, I want you to answer one last question. In your movie, where a lot of people are watching you, how do you want to be remembered?